All right, I'm going to be sly here because this video is about how I finished the cover for the Vintage Music Journal. And you can get a little sneak peek there, but I'm going to go through how I finished the cover, getting the closure, the lace on, the end panels, all of that stuff in this video. Then I'm going to do a separate video for the flip through. So I haven't quite finished it yet. And let me show you how I finished the panels on the inside of the cover and got these signatures into the cover, right? All right, let's go ahead and get going with that. So here's everything that has to do with finishing the cover. The first thing I did was I took all of the bits and pieces out of the pockets. Now I have sewn in signatures, leaving everything inside. And it's a little bulky and awkward and fiddly, so I took everything out. But I have them in nice, neat piles. This is signature number 3, number 2, number 1. So they're going to be very easy to put back in because I took them out from the back and worked my way forward. Now, I'm not showing the actual sewing of the signatures on this hidden spine fabric because it takes some concentration, a lot of concentration. I really need to pay attention to what I'm doing. You can see here's the cardboard. I did a 5-hole pamphlet stitch starting from the outside going into each signature. And I created a template so that I would know exactly where to poke the holes and poked the holes into this backing board that is glued to the fabric or the fabric glued to it and poked the holes through. And then I used a Sharpie to poke through the holes so that I would mark my fabric on the other side, which you can't see anymore. But I'm going to link again Tina's video on Frida Fromell because every time I've done this, I've gone back and watched her do it again because her instructions are so good. They're so detailed. And you need that detail. You need to have patience. And I haven't done enough of these yet with the hidden spine, this loose piece like this. I haven't done enough yet to have a lot of confidence that, oh yeah, I'm just going to go right through it. So I love that I have somebody to fall back on and watch how they do it again and again if need be. So that's why I'm not showing you that process. But I did start with the third signature first, then the second and the third, using the template and using lots of clips to hold each signature together. And it works really well. These signatures are quite thick, and this board is quite thick, and then there's the fabric to get through. So even though I poked good holes through everything, I still needed to use a pair of pliers to push the needle through and pull it out the other side. And I've done this several times where I've needed to use pliers. So by all means, add pliers to your toolkit along with your awl and needle. So those are important tips that I think you will find helpful. And definitely you need the template for both the hidden spine and the signatures. And the lines you see here are because the actual cover is a little bit longer than the signatures. So this is the signatures line, and the whole length of it is the same as the cover. So that's what I did. I used bookbinding cord, which is a waxed cord, and lots of clips. And you see too, this is fabric scissors for the fabric and regular paper scissors. It's a good idea to keep those separate. So, okay, now that I have the signatures sewn into the hidden spine, what's next? So let me set that over there, and we're done with that. And I don't need that right now. So the next thing is to continue working on the cover, and I started it. I'm using the Fabric Tech glue. And here we go. Let me make sure I'm in camera. Let's move things out of the way here. All right. There we go. I don't think I need those. So I did halfway, just about. I don't have my end paper on yet, but I wanted to show you what I'm doing on the inside. I was thinking of having an extra layer, an extra flip-flop, and I don't think so. I might add pockets to these two end papers, but I haven't decided yet. I probably will. But at first I was thinking maybe I would add an extra flop, a little folder in here. And I go, no, I've got a lot going on here, and the cover is really nice. It's got some cushion in it. And so what I did is I cut a length of this ribbon to act as the closure and taped it in position. Put the halfway here and made sure it was halfway from top to bottom. Taped it into position. Then I haven't done it on this side, but I did glue it down on this line. And what I wanted to show you here is I drew a line with the Sharpie. This is all going to get covered up, but I drew a line with the Sharpie a ½ inch in from the edge of the cover. And that's how I wound up having a nice straight glue in of this ruffle material, which wants to be curvy. So definitely I wanted to have something that would give me a guide and where to put the glue because it's, I want to make sure I put the glue in the right place. Okay, so let me go ahead and speed up this process. And again, I wanted to make sure that I wrote top on the inside here because just as a reminder, what I'm going for is for the nap of this fabric to be this way, to be down. Okay, because if I stroke it upward, I'm raising the nap, and when I stroke downward, I'm lowering the nap. So just a little tidbit there. So let's see. Make sure I don't get glue on anything I don't want glue on. A little piece of scrap paper here. And really yeah, it's doing one little section at a time. Really, really important. So let me go ahead and get that started, and let's do it in real time to start. Let me just get a little touch here. Don't need a lot for that. And so I'm just gluing right on the line. And this is fabric glue. It's acetone based. And I'm stopping short of the corner, and you'll see why in a minute. But I'm doing this one section at a time and keeping that cap on because it tends to ooze. And I don't need it oozing on me. Okay. The other thing that I'm looking for here is that the motif on this braid, I can see through it. You probably can't in the video, but I can see through it to where the edge, just where the edge of the cover is. And I want this little flower motif to show from the outside when I turn it around. Okay, so now the corners here, I need to ruffle them a little bit. You can see what I did before. Create a little pleat on both sides of the corner so that I get a rounded corner. If I just were to turn the corner like this, you see, you wind up with this. It doesn't work. You have to have a little bit of pleating in the corner. So it's a little fussy, but it's not hard. It's just one of those things to be patient with. And this is a strong glue, so I'm just being a little bit generous here and extending it out just a little bit. Again, keeping the cap on. This bottle is about halfway empty, so it takes a long time for it to drain down to the tip if I don't leave it on its side. So I'm just creating a little pleat near that corner. And another little pleat as I turn the corner. And just kind of coaxing it to where I need it to be. And I'm bringing these two pleats are touching each other. That worked well in the other corners. And then if I drag this out just a little bit, I'm making sure that the flower motif is staying visible. And this acetone glue comes off the fingers pretty easily. I did put lotion on before I started doing this. And it does help. And I like to hold it down a little bit, make sure it's stays put. Okay, I think we can speed up the rest of this. That's pretty straightforward now. I have to work quickly here. This is a strong glue. I want to be straight. I want to be the same distance. Yeah, it's setting up. And the lace, the lace kind of hides a flaw or two. I want to make sure I press it down so that the glue can really adhere. I've never done this sort of lace border before, so this is another interesting experiment. Okay. And you can see, because I didn't put the cap on, I'm really getting some ooze there. But it was more important to get this paper down. Okay, so I'm going to put the other side on, and then I'm going to inspect it and make sure that all the edges are fully glued. Okay, I just finished gluing these panels in completely, and what I found, just a little note, was I put extra glue around the edges, but in some places there wasn't quite enough glue to seep through the lace all the way to the cover fabric. So all I had to do was kind of pull on the lace, and there was a gap. And all I had to do was put the tip of the glue between the lace and the fabric of the cover and then work that in one section at a time. So now these papers are glued on well. So again, now I know where my top is, which is really important, because I have my signature, and I also wrote on that I wanted this side of this end to be the top, and I can always check to see where my pockets are, because that's the bottom, right? So this sort of becomes the tricky part, because we don't glue this into this spine area. We only glue these fabric flaps over here. And there was a choice there. I could have glued this in and then put the panels down, but I decided to do it this way, right? And part of that was because I really wanted to make sure that the paper, this scrapbook paper, was anchoring down the lace. Now that's not going to be the case up here, but the lace is glued in, and I left a little extra fabric here on the top and bottom, more than was necessary. But this is where it gets a little tricky, because I have to line up this cardboard spine, which is the hidden spine, with the actual spine. So it's interesting. I've done this before. And so basically I want to line up the top and bottom edge. I hope that comes through all right. I've got the top and the bottom of the spine here, and I want to line up. You know what might be a good idea? Let me go ahead and put a little piece of masking tape on those threads. Let's get them under control before we do this. I don't want them interfering with the glue up and that sort of thing. And that's all going to be hidden. There we go. I mean, it wouldn't be any big deal if they get caught in the side or anything, but it's one less thing for me to look at, right? Okay, so back to this. I'm feeling the cardboard and I'm feeling the spine that's in the cover. And I want to line up these edges and make sure that I have them, because this hidden spine cardboard is exactly the same width as this hidden spine, the spine cardboard. Okay, all right. So I'm going to do it this way. I'm just going to nudge it until it's right next to the edge there. And I've been letting my glue ooze with an old piece of sock. Okay, so I don't want to put any glue on this spine. I want to put it over here, but I don't have to cover this whole thing because I can do that afterward. So the most important thing is for me to get the glue on just this cover piece. And I don't have to go out very wide because I can always put that in after I've gotten both sides in. So this is kind of the tricky part. And I want to get a little extra on the lace as well. And make sure that's really gluey. Okay, here we go. Woo! Okay. Oh, don't move on me. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to see it from an angle, even if you can't see it. I'm gonna have to make sure that these edges of the spine line up. Woohoo! Oh golly. Then I gotta go over here and make sure that we're okay. So now I can just kind of push and pull it into place over here. Make sure of that. And then I can, oh, get the bone folder. Where'd I put it? Where did I put it? I mean, I have a little time, but I don't, there it is. Okay. Okay. This is a lot of feeling. I'm really trying to feel what's going on here. It's not just seeing, it's feeling. And I don't want it to be crooked. So with having a little bit of wiggle room. Whew, and then I hope that I did it right. It looks like it's lining up very well over here on this left side, which is the front of the cover. And so And I've got the bottom right to the bottom and the top right to the top. Okay, now I'm going to tilt it over, clean off the tip there, and do it again. But I don't want to move it too much because I'm running my fingernails down through the kind of the spine gutter, just like here. And let's take a look-see real quick. Well, it's looking pretty good. It's this is my last chance to maneuver it a bit and make sure things are where I want them to be. It's looking good. It's looking nice. Yes, boy, getting a little sneak preview of that. Okay. All right. This part is a little nerve-wracking because you want it to be right. You know? Well, I think I did it. All right, well, there we go. We can finish adhering the fabric. And it isn't the sort of fabric that does a nice job of fraying, so I'm not going to worry about fraying it. I'm just going to leave it as a raw edge. And I can trim off that extra fabric up at the top and bottom. So I am not worried about that. I deliberately left extra fabric at the top and bottom, just in case. All right, I'm going to let this dry a little bit and trim that. I'll be right back. As you can see, I have finished the inside of the cover. And I decided with the inside cover, so after things dried and everything is laying nicely flat. So it makes for a very nice journal. And I decided I would add pockets to the front and back. And the kind of pocket I added was the kind of pocket that has the little pleated sides. So a ½ inch and then a fold at quarter inch, and then it makes for a nice pocket. I like that style of doing things. And then another small pocket on top. And again, same thing on the front. A nice open pocket and a small pocket. And all the signatures are just fine. I've refilled them. So now I just need to kind of evaluate, okay, make things for these pockets. And then I'm going to do a flip through. And I've decided I'm going to do the flip through as a separate video because some people would love to just see a flip through and don't want to watch all of this other stuff, including how I finished this cover. So I hope you'll join me for the flip through. I will have evaluated it, filled it up, and decided what else it needs. And then this one will be finished. And I'm really pleased with it. So there's just a few little details that I need to look at, and then that will be that. So join me for the flip through, and I will see you there. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.